Welcome back. I'm talking with Muad Dib. We've been talking about your film 7/7 Ripple Effect, and earlier on we mentioned that the BBC came here to Ireland to basically shove a camera in front of your face, and they said various things which you ignored. Now, one of the things...
Nasty, horrible, evil things.
One of the things they said was Anthony Hill believes, or John Hill, I think he called you, believes that the Ark of the Covenant is buried at Tara, under a particular mound. Now, we've made a program about this in the past and gone through all of your reasons as to why you think it's there, which are perfectly plausible from my viewpoint. Now, I've done work with two other researchers, as you know, who place the Ark of the Covenant in another mound called Unisabul in Wales. Now, I'm of an open mind, so I'm prepared to listen to your claim and their claim, which is why I would look at the evidence of both of them, because I'm interested in this very, very important, well, I call it an artifact, and more important than an artifact to some people. But so just tell us about that and about how the BBC framed you in that way.
Well, they were trying to ridicule me. They were trying to undermine, really, the story in my film, the message in the film, by making me appear to be a kook of some kind. And so, because I believe that the Ark of the Covenant is buried at Tara, then I must be crazy. And so, the contents of the 7/7 Ripple Effect, are the imaginations of a madman or something. When in reality, as you quite well know, and everybody who's watched it, it is absolutely full of concrete facts and evidence. I haven't made anything up, or it's nothing, no imagination was used in it. It's just the facts and how it plays out, and the most logical reasoning from it.
Okay. Well, you took me up there earlier today, and it's a bank holiday today, so there was quite a lot of people up there. It was a lovely day, and kindly showed me around the sites, and it's a fascinating place. And thank you for that, Muad Dib. But
you're very welcome.
We're going to take a look at that now. Yep, that's fine.
This is the seat of the High Kings of Ireland. This was the seat of government before it was moved to Dublin. So the ancient history of Ireland is centred around this hill, the hill of Tara, which is a corruption of the hill of Torah. And Torah is God's law that Jeremiah and Queen Teotefi brought from Jerusalem in the Ark of the Covenant here to Ireland and instituted in Ireland. And it brought peace and prosperity to the whole of Ireland for the first time. So what we're looking at now was the original ancient entrance or chariot run approach to the hill of Tara, from where the High Kings of Tara ruled Ireland. And if they didn't come in this way, the official entrance, then they knew that they were up to no good. You can get the idea also from these tracks that are down the middle of it.
Yeah.
The high seat of the kings.
Right, so I'll just pan round to 180 degrees.
And that's the mound of the hostages you can see
in the centre.
Yes.
So what's the name of this mound that we're heading towards, Muad Dib?
Rathgronja.
Rathgronja. And this is a mound within an outer defensive ring, yeah?
Yeah.
So, who lived here, Muad Dib?
Teotefi, the Queen of Israel, who was brought from Jerusalem. They built her a house here.
So there was a house in the centre of this mound, here, just here. Okay.
Yeah.
Has it ever been excavated and dug up to see if there's any remnants of it, or?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay.
And they placed over the doorway in Hebrew the word Jerusalem, so that she would feel more at home. And she is away from where the menfolk would be. She would be here with her two handmaidens, protected but away from the menfolk, because the men would be up on the hill at the Rath of the Synods and on the actual hill itself.
Right, we're standing on the Rath of the Synods, which is another mound, and just in the mid-ground there, that's the Mound of the Hostages, and behind it is the Inauguration Mound, where the Kings and Queens of Ireland were inaugurated. Is that right, Muad Dib?
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of people milling about on top of the Inauguration Mound, and you believe this is the important mound, Muad Dib, the Mound of the Hostages, which has got this fence around it.
Yeah.
Where your claim of the Covenant, Ark of the Covenant is. Actually underneath that mound.
Yeah. The Torah was taught here. They actually built a university here, as we would call it today, and all the firstborn of the families in Ireland would send all the families in Ireland would send, that could afford it, would send their firstborn sons here to learn the law, the Torah, as it says in the Torah that must be done. This Rath of the Synods, the word synod, like from the Church of England, it means an assembly. So this was the fort of the assemblies where all the regional kings of Ireland would meet 3 times a year, as it specifies in the Torah, in the law. They would meet here 3 times a year, and then they would discuss what was happening in Ireland, if any of them needed help, or how to sort out disputes and all of that. They would all assemble, and they would sort out any problems.
So the Mound of the Hostages, that suggests to me there were some hostages who were killed and buried there, is that right? Or
that's one of the stories from a later period, from the time of Niall. But in actual fact, if you look in the Bible, it refers, in Chronicles in the Bible, it refers to the Ark of the Covenant and the treasures from the temple as being the hostages.
Right.
And those are that's the real way that it got its name.
Okay. And just to play devil's advocate, Muad Dib, you saying that the Ark is the hostages. Is that your own contention, or are there any other scholars who would?
There are other people, yes, that over many years have said the same thing, that the Ark of the Covenant is buried here, and I'm going to explain that this goes back at least to the 1800s.
Okay.
In 1898, some people calling themselves the British Israelites, who'd researched some of the ancient writings, and they'd found one clue to the location of the Ark of the Covenant, and that clue said that it was buried in the south of the Rath of the Synods. So they came here in 1898, and they were digging, looking for the Ark of the Covenant, and of course they didn't find it because it wasn't in the south of the Rath of the Synods. In the parlance of that time, in the south of meant to the south of the Rath of the Synods, and from here to the south coast of Ireland is, technically speaking, in the south of the Rath of the Synods. So that one clue doesn't tell you anything really. And so when I arrived here in 1998, I was told that the story that oh no, it's not there because the British Israelites dug here in 1898 and they found nothing, and so they said that I was wrong, and have tried to ridicule me. But unlike the British Israelites in 1898, I had searched all the ancient writings, and I have the 3 coordinates to actually pinpoint the location. And have been trying to persuade the Irish Ministry for Heritage to allow me to recover the Ark, because this is a protected heritage site, and you can't turn a blade of grass without a license or a permit from the government.
Big fence around it for some reason.
Yeah.
Very interesting, Muad Dib, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Is that why do they not want people in there then?
Well, they say that they're doing repair work, but it looks more like a building site.
I'm standing directly to the north of the Mound of the Hostages, and you were saying that someone a few years back was actually had a dig here?
Yes, it was an Irish archaeologist called Helen Roach.
Mm-hmm.
In 1998, when I arrived, this area, she was digging here, this area was all exposed, all just earth, and there were iron and bronze remnants from a foundry here. And she worked her way towards the Mound of the Hostages, getting closer and closer to the Mound of the Hostages, and still finding iron and bronze remnants. And then they stopped her from digging.
A ridge where?
There's a ridge here where my foot is.
Okay.
Just there.
Ridge there.
And she dug all this area here, under that bank and here, and kept digging closer and closer to the Mound of the Hostages. And it's very difficult. You can't really see the lines now, but she got closer and closer to the Mound of the Hostages, and still finding remnants from the iron foundry. And had to stop, because if she kept going and was finding these iron deposits up to and under the mound, it would have proved conclusively that the Mound of the Hostages is not Stone Age, that it's actually Iron Age.
I'm very interested to see if there's a notice explaining why there's a fence on this Muad Dib.
Okay.
So see if we can find one. So it's saying conservation works at the Mound of the Hostages. So where they've actually removed earth at this entrance and the turf, they've just piled it up over here behind the mound, and just there's weeds growing on it. Alright, so we're just at the fence here, and there's some boards here showing us what it actually looks like behind the plastic, which is a little entrance, a little stone entrance with a gate. A shame to come all this way to see they've got plastic over it.
Turn it into a building site.
It's a shame.
They've been doing something.
Yeah. And I've had Irish people who have followed my story for a number of years, and believe me, who think that they're using this as a pretext to investigate my claims.
Right.
And without publicising that
Okay.
fact. Otherwise, why would they be digging holes?
Oh yeah.
And there's another one over here.
Stand up on there. And there's another one where, did you say?
Another one over here to the right, but you can't see it.
I can't see that one, but I can see that one there. So it doesn't. I can't really tell whether it goes down any way, but.
If you were going to repair it, presumably you would just add and solidify it.
Do you think they might have actually found something, Muad Dib, and took it away?
No.
You don't think so?
No. They couldn't, not from where they are.
Right, okay. So do you think they found out any information regarding what might be there?
I have no way of knowing.
Right.
It's not something they would publicise. It's certainly not something they would tell me.
Right. All right. Well, let's go and have a look at the inauguration mound then. Stone of Destiny.
Yeah, was brought from Jerusalem. It was placed here, and Queen Teotefi and the High King of Ireland were married on this inauguration mound in 583 BC, and they gave their vows standing over the Stone of Destiny. And then all the High Kings of Ireland for 1,000 years were crowned here on this mound on the Stone of Destiny. It's still considered to be the capital, the spiritual capital of Ireland. Even though Ireland is divided into the north and south, and the north is predominantly Protestant, the south is predominantly Catholic, still both of the religions, both of the people from the north and the south consider this to be the spiritual capital of Ireland. And I'm facing due north.
The Ark was buried, and then the tomb was sealed until her death, and then it was opened. She was placed in with the Ark, and then it was resealed, and nobody's been in there since. and we're talking about, you know, thousands, 2,500 years. But in one of the ancient Irish documents, it says that she was buried northeast of the Forad, and the Forad is the Gaelic word for the inauguration mound. Okay, so the Wrath of the Sinners is here, the inauguration mound and Forad is here. Okay, and it says that she was buried northeast. South of the Wrath of the Sinners is the Mound of Hostages, okay, which is also northeast from the inauguration mound. Okay, and then in another one of the ancient Irish documents, it says that after her husband had buried her, he raised a mound over her, which is 60 feet by 60 feet, which is their way of saying it was a circle, and it was 60 feet in diameter, because it was the same across. And the Mound of the Hostages on the hill of Tara is south of the Wrath of the Synods. It is northeast of the inauguration mound, and it is, or was at the time it was built, approximately 60 feet in diameter. So that tells us that that is the actual location. What happened was that they dug out, and then they built a stone chamber completely under the ground. And then all the earth that they'd excavated to make that underground chamber, they then used to make the mound over the top of it.
So just to finish, what do you think the chances of actually them excavating under the mound is? I mean, they've obviously been messing about with it in some capacity. Why? It's anyone's guess, but what do you think the chances of you actually seeing that being dug up with is? Do you see that happening?
Not where they're digging, no, because they're digging in the wrong place.
Right. Okay.
And only I know where the right place is.
Okay. I mean, you've said that it's under the mound.
Yeah.
But is it you think it's even more specific than that? I know you're not going to say that, but
yeah, I know exactly where to go. You see, they can do what they've done, which you filmed today, and what they did in 1998, which was terrible, and leaving the place like a building site, similar to what you saw today.
Yeah.
Okay, they can do that, all of that mess, and they won't allow me to dig a little piece of flat grass that's 2 meters by 2 meters.
Right.
Right. Now that's how ridiculous it is.
Right. Okay. All right then, Muad Dib. Well, on that note, thank you very much for making me feel welcome here in Ireland.
You're very welcome.
And good luck with all of your projects and films.
Thank you very much for coming.
And also the 5th of November, good luck with that venture as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
It just remains for me to say, believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see. I'm Richard D. Hall. Good night.